Alrighty, folks, welcome. We are live. It is great to be on this Tuesday afternoon. Welcome. We do have some people hopping on already. We'd like to see those numbers counting up. Awesome. So yes, we do have some breaking news in regards to Social Security, and just some quick news to report for you guys, and that is the fact that you could now expect your benefits to be higher in the coming, well, now it's at this point just a matter of weeks, folks. We're no longer talking months. We are no longer talking years. We are officially talking days and weeks for your benefits to, in fact, be higher. And we're going to be telling you everything you need to know in this live stream, exactly what is going on with Social Security and SSI, SSDI, all the programs, when you can expect these higher payments, and of course who qualifies, all the above. So let's get started, and of course the amount that you're going to be receiving, that is so important. Probably the of paramount importance is the amount that you can expect to receive. So let's cover everything in just a moment here. Let's get started and dive right in. Just to make sure you guys can in fact hear me, we will do a quick sound check, make sure everything's good. So if you guys can hear me, go ahead and say where you're tuning in from, a city, state, location, what do you want to tell us, wherever you're tuning in from in the world, let us know. And also make sure you give this video a tremendous thumbs up, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. Folks, we are inching closer and closer to 20,000 subscribers. We are now just a few subscribers away from 20,000. And once we hit that number, I promise you guys, we will do a huge mega cash giveaway where we give away a double the amount of cash that we gave away at 10,000 subscribers. And we're now just a few away. So make sure that you get the word out. This is the tipping point, folks. This is crucial timing. Make sure you keep on sharing my videos, liking the videos, commenting on them, and engaging with them. Hello, Mario. Good to have you on. Appreciate that. He is on SSI. Glad to have you on. And we'll be telling you everything you need to know. So you're right on time. Perfect timing. So with that being said, guys, make sure to do all the above that we just mentioned, and we can get started and dive right in. So the fact is that Social Security, the payments will be higher in a matter of just a couple weeks now because of those that COLA adjustment rather. So for example, let's start with SSI. So Supplemental Security Income beneficiaries are set to receive their $841 monthly payments in 18 days. Couples who are eligible for SSI will receive their regular payments of $1,261 on December 1st. Essential people, or those who live with people receiving SSI and provide necessary care, will receive payments of $421 at the beginning of next month. The SSA began issuing SSI payments to eligible individuals and couples in January of 1974, and the size of payment has increased for cost of living adjustments since 1975 to combat year-to-year inflation, and that comes directly from the SSA. So, yes, we're getting there. Oh yeah, no worries, Joyce, we're getting there. Be patient, we are almost there, don't worry. The administration sends out SSI payments on the 1st of each month, but when that day falls on a holiday or weekend, payments are issued on the last weekday before the 1st of the next month, according to the agency. So scheduling quirks occurred for the January, May, and October payments this year, and beneficiaries received 2 of their monthly payments in the same calendar month. Now, some estimates say that Social Security insolvency will incur, in the coming years. We've talked about that many times now. That has been a common trend. We're not necessarily going to get into that subject in this particular video, but just know that we are even lucky to be seeing these Social Security benefits continue to go out and at their full capacity, because you never know what can happen down the road in the future. So that is in regards to SSI. Let's take a look here and tell you everything you need to know in regards to Social Security in regards to that COLA adjustment. All right, hello folks. We have some people hopping on. All right, good to have you on. We see we have Jin here. She is on with us. Awesome. Depends where you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, you might see different chats pop up, but we do have some people hopping on. Okay, I just want to make sure we're good to go. So, and then, what's also important to realize is that the Social Security benefit, now granted that dollar amount has changed, right? We do know that for a fact. But if you look at it from a historical perspective, how much has that Social Security benefit actually changed when you tie it with inflation? And the fact is that it's not substantial whatsoever. Remember, in some years, the COLA has been essentially non existent. In other words, it has jumped significantly. For 2023, it will go up 8.7%. That is the biggest jump in over 40 years. But has that COLA adjustment actually done a good job at protecting retirement payments for seniors? And the data somewhat says yes, somewhat says no. I think it really depends on, of course, how much you're receiving and how much you retire with. There's so many factors and analytics that would go into it. So, for example, if we look at the average benefits paid over the last 2 decades. Hello, Bruce. He is hopping on here. Good to have you on, Bruce. And that is true. Bruce, this year is definitely a higher than average and normal increase. Don't necessarily get used to this. I wouldn't expect this in the following year. I don't think the inflation numbers are going to dip massively. So I think we're still going to see a decent COLA adjustment for the year of 2024, but who's counting at this point? But I don't think you're necessarily going to see a precipitous drop from 2023 to 2024. I think inflation will still likely lead to some higher payments, but it definitely won't be one of the lowest COLA adjustments that we've ever seen. I think it will still be a decent size, maybe akin to the 5.9% that we received for 2022. I think you could maybe anticipate something around that figure, but who knows what the numbers will look like in the coming several months and the next year. So with that being said, guys, let's take a look at what payments and benefits on average have been paid to retirees over the past 2 decades. So 2002 was this is average, right? So it may not be true for everyone, but we're going way back now as far as the time scale and the timeline of these payments. 2002 was an average payment of $874. 2003, $895. 2004, $922. 2005, $955. Now 2006 is when that figure finally broke the four-figure mark. And this is, of course, leading up to the Great Recession of 2008. 2006 was $1,002. 2007, $1,044. 2008, $1,079. 2009, $1,153. So that was a decent boost there. 2010, $1,164. And then you're getting to really just a few dollars at this point. 2011 is only $1,176, not a big increase from 2010. 2012 was $1,229. 2013 was $1,261. 2014 was $1,294. 2015 was $1,328. 2016, $1,341. 2017 was $1,360. 2018 was $1,404. 2019 was $1,461. 2020 was $1,503. Then 2021 was $1,543. And then this is a pretty decent boost, right? We did see that substantial COLA increase for 2022. And the average benefit payment then for this year was $1,657. So an increase of over $100. Not too terrible. Now for 2023, the average anticipated benefit for your Social Security benefits, because we do know what that COLA is looking like now. Again, it was shy of 9%. Hello, Bruce. He is going to be getting $50 more. Let's see. Well, the average benefit for 2022 was $1,657. 2023 is going to be $1,827, which is a big boost there. I mean, we're talking. I think that's $100-something. So I don't know if you're on Social Security or if you're on SSI or SSDI. Maybe the payment's a little bit less, but certainly Social Security will bring in a decent increase for this year. We have Toby hopping on here, and he's talking about Nancy Pelosi, and certainly there is some politicking to be had there and debated upon in regards to Social Security. I don't even think, if you ask me, it should necessarily be a political issue. I don't think this should be politicized at all. Unfortunately, it does get politicized and weaponized by politicians, and they basically use seniors and the disabled as pawns in the game, right? Okay, Bruce is on SSDI. Gotcha. So unfortunately, politicians do use Social Security as basically a weapon and a talking point in campaigning, and it really shouldn't be that way, right? We should just be talking about something that should be integral to the economy and what seniors and so many people paid into as far as the system for so many years now, their entire life, their entire working life, that it shouldn't necessarily even be debated upon. But you do see a lot of politics happening with Social Security, and fortunately, on one side, they would like to see the spending be discretionary and possibly in some cases, extreme cases, be stripped away entirely, taken away from all Americans. Now, Democrats, they would like to get something done. They would like to see some changes, at least in the payroll taxes and getting the wealthy to pay into the system more. But that likely would not happen at all now, because it is looking like the Republicans will clinch the House of Representatives. Democrats have maintained the Senate, and so now you're going to have total gridlock in the Congress. I don't think you're going to see any bipartisanship or reaching across the aisle at this point. But that is certainly another discussion for another day. We talked about that more in depth in our last few Social Security videos, right, when we were talking more so about the midterm elections. That's not necessarily what I wanted to do in this particular live stream. However, if you guys do prefer that, and you do prefer it from a more political perspective, we could certainly dive into that. But again, Social Security benefits, that is the most widely available form of financial assistance in the U.S. Currently, nearly 70 million do receive that every single month and are in receipt of that support. Oh, I appreciate that, Bruce. We try to be as balanced and as unbiased as possible. We definitely want to tell it from both sides of the aisle and not necessarily give one perspective, but we also have to tell the truth and the facts. And, unfortunately, I might have cut off there for a moment, or we should be good. Unfortunately, one side does kind of launch these attacks on Social Security, and we're not necessarily taking sides. We're not skewing the reports, so we're just taking words right out of politicians' mouths and just telling it like it is. But, of course, we try to be as balanced and fair on this channel as possible. But again, guys, just for you guys to know, if you receive benefits after the 90s, right, then you could expect the payments to be based on your birth dates, right? So if your date of birth was the 1st to the 10th of any month, doesn't matter if it was this month, that could be any month, then you will receive your assigned payment on the second Wednesday of this month. As far as the 11th to the 20th, if your birth date falls between those days of any given month, you will receive your Social Security benefit on the third Wednesday of the month. 21st to the 31st is the fourth Wednesday of the month. Now, again, that is if you received benefits after the 90s, I believe in 1994. You can double check that. And that is, essentially when anyone over the last couple of decades, or few decades, that has claimed Social Security can expect to receive their payments. All right, Toby's talking here. That's definitely a good idea. That is certainly, if it's something like maybe marijuana legislation, right, where we could put it on the ballot and maybe just ask the American people directly and make that sort of part of an election cycle. Do we, want to do this, or do we want to legislate it this way and just leave it up to the people as opposed to the Congress? I think that's a good idea. I think if you leave it to the people directly, now granted, you'd have to get that on every ballot in every state, and I don't know what kind of red tape or obstacles that would incur. I don't know if it's that easy as just putting it on the ballot, right? I think there would be some red tape there and bureaucracy where you'd have to get something like that approved. But that is certainly a good idea, and I think it would be great to leave it up to the American people and let them decide, and just keep Congress out of it, keep the president out of it. I think that is a very smart move. Now, again, this increase that we're anticipating is an annual alteration to the amount that recipients can receive, and is supposed to reflect the high rate of price change in the previous year. Inflation is running rampant and very high this year, so the SSA enacted that huge boost that will be worth an extra $146 per month on average for recipients. The increased payments will begin with the January 2023 round of support, but the payment structure employed by the SSA means that some people will get the money before the end of this year, right? So that's why some of you can expect to receive those funds in just a matter of weeks. For example, recipients of Supplemental Security Income, SSI, that is a group totaling more than 7 million people. You can expect your payments to first come on Friday, December 30th, right before the new year. So for those of you lucky enough to be on that program, you can expect your payments much, much sooner, and you don't even have to wait for 2023 before that ball drops, right? You can count down the ball, and as it gets to the bottom, and count your cash as well. Count those stacks. So certainly there are some advantages to being in that program, but you do receive less than if you're on Social Security. Now there is tons of information out there for you guys. If you are curious about that upcoming COLA boost, right, and you want to do some calculations, you could certainly play around with the calculator and use the most recent COLA percentage on top of what you're currently receiving, and that will instantly tell you what you can expect your upcoming payments to be if you didn't get notice already from the SSA. There's also a lot of help on the SSA's website, so certainly check that out and see what kind of info you can get there. And also you can expect the Medicare premium to also take a drop as well. We're going to be seeing that dip. Now, a lot of you think it's pocket change, but keep in mind, what I always like to reiterate is that could have very well been an increase. So even though it's a very small, minimal, nominal decrease in that premium, it could have very well been a substantial increase. So you have to look at it from that perspective, because that was the case this year, where we saw a huge boost in the Medicare premium because of that Alzheimer's drug, right? That was the biggest factor, and getting that out and distributing it, and the cost that it took to make that. So just take that with a grain of salt and understand that, we're fortunate that the SSA made sure to prioritize getting those premiums down, and hopefully this also is a sort of a trend of maybe where premiums could start to drop, in the year following. So we'll see what happens with that. We're not necessarily up to 2024 just yet, but hopefully, those premiums start to go down, benefits start to go up with the COLA adjustment, and that could balance out and bode well for our seniors, our disabled, and our low-income people. So with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you are excited to start receiving your higher payments. We've been waiting many, many months now, but finally they're on the way. It's not just talk. We're actually seeing these payments start to be distributed, and they're gearing up to send them out. So hopefully you could enjoy them, and hopefully it helps you out a little bit and provides some relief. If you guys have any questions, as always, let us know in the comment section or in the live chat, and we will be sure to help you out as best as we can. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you smash the like button. I'd appreciate that. Make sure that you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. And if you want to get some free stocks, all on mail free, use the social link, or rather the brokerage links down below in the description. Sign up with the brokerage platforms, Robinhood and or Webull. You'll get some free stocks, some valued to thousands of dollars in some cases. So let us know what stocks you get. And if you want to connect me on social media, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, I am on TikTok. Use the social links down below in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And I hope you also have a fantastic holiday, right? That is coming up. So we will be sure to update you guys as it gets closer. But just a little early holiday wish. I'm sure you're all getting your decorations out. With that being said, see you guys in the next one. And thank you so much for joining us.